YouTube yogis, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all well. It's been a little bit of time since I last recorded a YouTube yoga flow for you. So this practice is all about connection. So if you've had a little bit of time away from the mat like me, we're going to spend a little bit of time reconnecting back to our mat, connecting to the earth beneath, connecting to the breath, and ultimately connecting back to ourselves here. So we're going to stay fairly low to the ground for the first portion of our practice, and then we're gradually going to build ourselves up, move through a little bit of a rejuvenating flow, and then gradually softly come back down. So I hope that sounds okay. You won't really need anything specific for this practice, just your lovely selves and a little bit of space. So when you're ready, pop the playlist on that's in the description box and meet me on your mat, lying down flat on your backs. Okay. So you can take your time gradually coming down here, softening down into the mat. And let's start with the knees bent and the soles of the feet flat down to the earth. Hands can rest on your belly, or maybe let the arms open out towards the side slightly. Backs of the hands might be resting down into the earth, or maybe the palms of the hands come down to again further aid that little bit of grounding here. When you're ready, perhaps beginning to close off the eyes, close off the outside world, and just begin to settle in. Perhaps what I mean by settling in is just taking a few moments to check in. Notice how you're feeling today. Notice what's present for you here and now without feeling the need to change anything about yourself, just letting everything be. Observing that natural ebb and flow of your breath. Again, recognizing that there's no need to manipulate the breath in any way here. Finding your own natural, steady pace. And as we continue to settle in here, taking a few moments to notice that connection between your body and your mat. Or perhaps if you're practicing without a mat today, noticing that connection between your body and the floor beneath you. Notice how the floor feels against your body here. Does it feel warm and welcoming, or maybe it's feeling cold and harsh today? Notice which parts of your body are in connection with the ground and which parts of your body are not. And over time, perhaps seeing if we can sink just that little bit deeper. So allowing our awareness to expand to include not just the floor supporting us, but the earth beneath us. Perhaps sending your awareness through the mat, through the floor or the foundations or structure of whatever building you might be in, or perhaps you're practicing outside. Just gradually letting your awareness expand, working your way slightly deeper down until eventually you meet the earth's soil. And as we connect down here, notice how this feels. Perhaps there's this sensation of being held here. So no matter how fast the world spins, we are still rooted here, we are still supported. And in the same way, we allow ourselves to sink deeper and deeper, melting towards the earth also rises up to greet us and also embrace us. So allowing yourselves to feel held here. And perhaps at the same time as feeling held and feeling connected, there's also this sense of belonging. We belong here. We belong in this space wherever you are right now. So let's allow our breath to gradually deepen, taking a slightly deeper breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs entirely. Perhaps having a soft sigh out through the mouth. And again, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Soft sigh out through the mouth. One final time, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. Let's see if we can maybe keep the eyes closed here as we gently draw both knees in towards the chest. You can take the hands to the shins or maybe to the back of the thighs, whichever feels more accessible for you here. As you draw the knees in, curl yourselves up into a little ball and just have a soft sway from side to side. Keep the back of the head and the shoulder blades nestled down and towards the mat. So your whole spine now is grounded down. Let's take another breath in. And a breath out. And then just starting to connect our breath to our movement. So let's bring the palms of the hands towards the knees. As we breathe in, let's push the knees slightly away from our chest to create space for the belly to rise as the lungs inflate. And then as you exhale, draw the knees tightly in, force that air out. Beautiful. We keep going just like that. Inhale, sending the knees away. Exhale, drawing the knees in. Beautiful. Find your own steady pace, no need to rush. Notice how it feels here to connect this movement to your breath and move in this kind of cyclical nature, this gentle ebb and flow. Taking one more steady round of this. Beautiful. And then let's keep hold of just the right knee and send the left leg away. You can send the left leg long along your mat, or you might replace that left foot down towards the ground. Bring a little bit of movement again into this right knee, a little sway from side to side, creating a little bit of space in that hip socket. Lovely. And then just bringing your hands to interlace around the back of the right thigh. Take an inhale here. And as we exhale, let's flex into that right ankle, kick that right heel to the sky, starting to tap into the hamstrings here. So a little stretch down through the back of the right leg. The right leg does not need to lengthen completely here. Keep a little bit of softness through that right knee. And as you extend the leg, notice whether your shoulders kind of need to lift away from the ground to reach the leg here. Bring the hands slightly further down, perhaps use a strap here so you can maintain that connection between your shoulder blades and the mat. And the head can also remain nice and softly down toward the ground here. Let's take one more breath. Continue to draw that right thigh in towards the chest. And exhale, let's rebend back into that right knee. Draw it tightly in. Beautiful. Moving to a little spinal twist. So right arm stretches out to the right hand side. Left hand comes to the outside edge of the right knee. And we gently guide that knee across the body over to the left into this gentle twist. Moving into the twist as far as feels comfortable for you today. So letting that right hip lift away from the ground. Right shoulder blade still remains down. Beautiful. Continue gazing up to the sky, or maybe you turn your head to look into the opposite direction of that right knee, so across to the right hand side. One final breath here. And an exhale. Beautiful breath in to softly come through the center. Hug that right knee back in for a moment. And then nice and easy, let's just change. So right foot comes down, left knee comes in. And again, let's just start by finding these little pockets of space in that left hip socket. So a little sway from side to side. You might even like to draw circles with that left knee. Being really soft and really taking care of our bodies here. So every movement is almost carefully thought out. Taking our time. Beautiful. And then when you are ready, let's bring the hands to interlace around the back of the left thigh. Flex into that left ankle. Take a breath. Exhale, kicking the left heel to the sky. Again, tapping into the hamstrings. You might notice one leg feels slightly tighter than the other. That's okay. Continue to draw the left thigh into the chest. Keep the shoulder blades down to the ground. Back of the head relaxed. Beautiful. Okay. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. Okay. Bend back into that left knee. It softly comes back into the chest, and let's move into that spinal twist on the other side. So left arm reaches out to the left hand side, right hand to the outside edge of the left knee. And we gently guide the left knee across the body over to the right into that spinal twist. Lovely, waking up in our spine. So the left hip lifts away from the ground, but the left shoulder blade stays down. And again, if you wish, looking up to the sky or maybe looking over to the left, whichever feels better for your neck here. Let's pause here for a moment, taking another breath. And then inhaling to steadily come back through the center, draw that left knee back in. And then let's also bring the right knee in. So again, both knees into the chest here. Perhaps having that another little embrace here, curling yourselves up into that tiny little ball. Beautiful. And then from here, whichever is most convenient, making this as a gentle transition as we possibly can. So it doesn't need to be anything too fancy. We're just going to make our way into a tabletop. So you might do this by rocking forwards and back, or maybe just roll onto one side. Use your hands to help you to steadily lift you all the way up. Hands reach out in front, and we gently walk the knees back. Okay. So we find our tabletop. So we've gently shifted ourselves from a supine position into a prone position. So again, that can be quite an adjustment for the body. So take your time, especially if there's any kind of dizziness present. Okay, so wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's move through a couple rounds of cat and cow. So as we breathe in, let's let the belly glide down towards the ground, lift up through the head and heart, lift the tailbone to the sky, maybe gaze ahead. And as we exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest, round through the spine, reach the shoulder blades high to the sky. Let's move through this a couple more times, and again, it's at your own pace. So if you want to move really soft and slow today, be my guest. If you've got a little bit more energy and you want to move a little bit more quickly, again, absolutely fine by me. Remember, this is your practice, so you move how you want to move today. And even though this cat-cow is quite a staple in our yoga practice, we do this in most practices, that doesn't mean it has to feel the same every time we move through it. So perhaps thinking, what's different here? What can I notice here today that wasn't present the last time I practiced? Beautiful. Steadily moving through one more full round. Okay. And then on your next breath in, let's find that neutral tabletop. So again, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and then aiming to lift the opposite hand to leg at exactly the same time. So coming into a little balancing tabletop, working on a little bit of core strength. So let's focus on lifting out through the shoulders, making sure we're not just relying on the structure of our bones to keep us there. The body is active. So first time, we're going to lift the right arm forwards, left leg back at the same time. So when you're ready, begin to reach. Slide the left knee back, reach the right arm forwards, and then take it up into the sky. Beautiful. Now as you reach the right arm forwards, if you can point that right thumb to the sky, tuck the chin towards the chest, you're gazing directly down to the ground. And then flex into that left ankle. So we're really kicking energy out through that left heel. Beautiful. Hold through the breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. Right hand softly comes back down. Then draw that left knee in towards the chest. Round through the back. Create space. And then softly step left foot forwards in between the hands. You can guide that left foot there if it needs a little bit of help. And then when we're ready, let's brush the fingertips along the mat, steadily rise up, little low lunge, okay. So starting to tap into the hip flexors slightly here. So you may want to glide the hips forwards and down, but let's remember to have that tuck of the tailbone under. So there's a little sense of driving the hips forwards, softness through the shoulders. Beautiful. So this might be just enough of a stretch for you. It doesn't mean we have to come all the way down here to find the full expression of the pose. Really, there's no such thing. It's just whatever variation of the pose you want to take today. Beautiful. Let's take one more inhale. And then as we exhale, steadily pour the heart forwards, hands come down to frame that left foot. And then take your time as you wiggle that left foot across to the right to gently allow that left shin to come down so we move into our pigeon pose. You may want to walk that right knee back, so really lengthen that right leg to the back of the mat. And then maybe keeping the heart lifted for a moment, so lifting up through the head and chest. Take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we then may choose to fold forward. So coming down onto your forearms, using again the structure of your arms to keep you slightly lifted, to keep the chest a little bit more supported. Or maybe there's space to go that little bit further down. Maybe the forehead comes to the back of the hands. So we can release through the back of the neck. Your choice. Okay. Now as we come here, just making sure we're not inviting in any unnecessary tension. Sometimes when we come into pigeon pose, we find that we clench the fists together, we interlace the fingertips and kind of invite this tension in through the hands. Just let the hands be soft, let the fingertips be soft, wrists be soft. All the while just sending the breath down to the hips, encouraging them to gently open here. Beautiful, okay. Let's take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. And then gently we push down through the hands to lift the chest all the way back up. Maybe slide that right knee back a little bit closer towards you, so it's nice and easy to send the left leg back next to the right, so we come back into this tabletop. Let's repeat that on the other side. So this time you're lifting the left arm forwards, right leg back, and lifting them away from the ground at the exact same moment if we can, keeping the core ever so slightly engaged. So when you're ready, inhale, left arm forwards, right leg back. Beautiful, and we reach, we keep extending here. So find that connection between your left fingertips and that right heel. Beautiful, nice long line. Lift that left thumb up to the sky, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Right hand is active down towards the mat, so they're slightly gripping the fingertips down towards the ground to again keep you stable. Take a breath. Take an exhale. Beautiful, left hand softly comes down, right knee comes in towards the chest, round through the back. Create space for that knee to come forward. And then softly step right foot in between the hands. Well done. When you're ready, let's brush the fingertips along the mat, lift up through the head and heart, low lunge, okay. Find that stretch across the front of the left thigh, across the hip flexors. So again, glutes are fairly active, so tucking that tailbone under, keeping the heart lifted. Beautiful. Okay, let's take a breath in and a breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, pull the heart forwards, hands come to frame that right foot, and then steadily wiggle that right foot across to the left to let that right shin come down. Okay, so we find that pigeon pose on the other side. So beginning by lengthening that left leg back, letting the hips sink down towards the earth. Maybe walk the hands in to lift the head and heart for a moment, deep breath. Exhale, coming down, maybe onto your elbows or maybe forehead to the back of the hands. And again, let's keep those fingertips and wrists soft. Take a moment to perhaps check in whether the hips are square here. So try not to let that right hip completely collapse down to the ground. Send the left hip down also. Beautiful. Close the eyes for a moment here. Almost like we're taking this little snippet of rest. And even though we haven't done anything too strenuous for the body here, that's okay. It doesn't mean we have to always earn our rest or feel like we deserve a rest here. We can take a rest whenever we need to, or whenever we wish. We don't have to even need a rest. Lovely. Let's take one more breath in. One more breath out. Fabulous. Let's push down through the hands. Gently lift the chest all the way back up. Tuck the left toes under to walk that left knee back in. Slide the right knee back next to the left so we come back into our tabletop. Then we're going to tuck all 10 toes under. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, begin to send the weight back. Hips come back towards your heels. And then at that last moment, we lift the knees off. Fly the hips high to the sky for your first downward facing dog. So as always, as it's the first down dog, maybe there's a little bit of movement here, a little sway from side to side, pedaling out through the feet. Lovely. So in this moment of strength where the shoulders are really working here to keep the body lifted, where can we find the softness? Perhaps we soften through the jaw, the bottom jaw falls away from the top. We release through the back of the neck, or maybe even the tongue softens here. Beautiful. Let's just take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Breath in to look ahead, look towards your fingertips. Bend the knees and steadily walk your feet all the way towards your hands, one tiny little step at a time. No need to rush. Coming into that standing forward fold where the feet are about hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. And there's this little softness through the knees, okay? So by softening through the knees, perhaps we find we can lift the tailbone that little bit higher. And allow us to relax that a little bit more into the fold. Arms are heavy, head is heavy. Take one final breath here. And exhale. We're going to push down through the feet, bend through the knees even more as we tuck the tailbone under and steadily roll up through the spine, stack up bone by bone. Lovely, well done. As we come all the way up to standing here, head rises, and then let's take a nice big shoulder roll. Inhale, lift the shoulders forwards and up towards the ears. Exhale, send them back and down. Okay, so we've steadily made our way to our feet. So from here, let's bring the palms, the hands together in front of the heart. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, interlace the fingertips. You're going to push the knuckles away from you. As this happens, bend through the knees, and almost like you're rounding through the back and hugging this nice big beach ball in between the arms. You tuck the chin slightly towards the chest here. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more here. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then as we inhale, we're going to flip the palms up and over, grow tall. Send the palms and hands all the way up to the sky. Maybe finding this nice long line through the body, or maybe taking it into a slight back bend. So you might kind of drive the hips forwards, glutes active, and then just lift the heart to the sky. Make sure you can still breathe here. So if the breath feels restricted, ease off slightly. Beautiful. One more inhale. One more exhale. Lovely, steadily coming back upright, and then release the hands, circle them all the way back and down. We're going to interlace the fingertips at our lower spine. Inhale, sending the knuckles away, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lift up through the head and heart. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, a little bend through the knees as you flip the body up and over, send the knuckles to the sky, and allow your weight of the hands to fall forwards here to maybe deepen the fold. If it's too much for the shoulders, as always, feel free to let the arms come down and take a more of a passive forward fold here. Okay. There might still be a little sway from side to side if you wish. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. Release the hands all the way down to the mat if they're not already. Inhale, let's take a little halfway lift, fingertips to your shins. Zip up through the spine, flat back, create space. And exhale, fold all the way back down. Okay. Nice and easy. Let's just bring the hands down towards the ground, so bend the knees as much as you need to, and then step it back to a down dog. So hips again go high to the sky, press your belly back to the thighs. Move around here if you wish. And let's stay for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then from here, as we inhale, let's send the right leg all the way up to the sky, kick that right heel up. Exhale, right knee comes in towards the chest, and again we drive the knees forwards, root down through the fingertips, and softly step that right foot in between the hands. Beautiful. Let's gently drop the left knee down, untuck the left toes, brush the fingertips along the mat, rise all the way up into that low lunge. So again, it's the second time we're here on this side, so maybe thinking, what can we do slightly differently? If you want to keep it the same, feel free to do so. Or maybe we work just a little bit further. So maybe wriggling the right toes a little bit further to the top of the mat. Gliding the hips forwards and down. So again, restack that right knee over the right ankle. So the hips sink a little bit lower to the ground. But that's only if you wish to. If you were happy where you were, feel free to stay there. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, let's cactus through the elbows. So we draw the elbows down in line with the shoulders, lift up through the head and heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Deep breath in. Exhale, rain the fingertips down, and the hands are going to come down to the inside of this right leg. So as the hands softly land, let's wriggle the right foot out towards the side, slightly creating again more space for the hips to drop down. So the right toes might turn out slightly and the wrists underneath both shoulders. Let's pause for a moment here, easy lizard lunge, so a little sway from side to side. Take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. Okay, from here, we're going to push down through the hands to lift up out of the hips slightly, so the hips come back to stack over that left knee. And then you're going to step this right leg all the way out to the side. So it's extended off the mat. Just see if you can keep our right toes pointing the same direction as we're facing. So I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what the shape is here. So you're extending that right leg out to the side in line with the hip and the fingertips supporting the chest, okay? And then from here, let's take a breath in. Now as we exhale, with that right leg extended, let's gently send our hips back towards the left heel, taking a variation of a child's pose. You might keep reaching the fingertips forward and let the forehead bow down, or maybe you stack one fist on top of the other to let the forehead come down to the back of the hands. Beautiful. So you're perhaps feeling that little stretch down the inside of the right leg. Lovely. Keep that pinky toe edge of the right foot down as best as you can. And let's take one more deep breath in here. One more deep breath out. Breath in as we lift the head and chest back up. So maybe use your hands to rise up. Keep the hips towards the left heel. And then just be a little bit careful of this left knee. You're going to send your sit bones down, all the way down to the ground. So your left heel comes to the inside or just in front of your groin here. And you've still got that right leg extended out to the side. Okay. From here, right toe is reaching up to the sky. Right hand is going to come to the inside of this right leg. We're going to take a big sweep of this left arm up and over. So almost like this left hand is reaching towards those right toes, but we keep rolling this left shoulder back. So if you notice this left arm kind of creep down in front of the face, roll that shoulder back and maybe you can even look underneath the left arm. Beautiful. Lengthen through that left arm as best as you can. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more here, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, we unravel, we reach the left arm all the way back up. And then from here, right hand comes to the back of the right knee to help guide and pull that right knee in towards you. Wriggle that left foot a little bit further over to the right and then cross right leg over the left. Okay. Now as we come here with the legs kind of wrapped around one another, we might find that right sit bone lifts away from the ground and we kind of lean to the left. If that's the case, feel free to release the left leg out in front, and that helps you to bring both sit bones down towards the ground. So again, we're still nice and connected here, or we're happy where we are. It's entirely up to you. Choose whichever feels the most stable, and then bring your right hand to the ground back behind you. Inhale, left fingertips up to the sky, grow tall. Exhale, hooking the left elbow on the outside of that right knee. Beautiful. Anchoring yourselves into that twist. Lovely. Giving your internal organs a little massage here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's have one more deep breath in. As we exhale, maybe anchoring ourselves into that twist just a little bit more. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we can softly unravel. Bring the heart to face back ahead. And then perhaps bring your left hand just down by the left-hand side. You're going to let this right leg unravel. And then from here, nice and easy, reach the hands out in front. We come through a tabletop. So again, bring those knees underneath the hips. And then tuck all 10 toes under. Take a breath. Exhale, beginning to send the hips back. And then we fly the hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. Okay, and again, wiggle and move as much as you wish. We're gonna, in a moment, work through the other side, still taking our time, no need to rush. Lovely, finding all these little pockets of space. Okay, here we go. Let's have a little look through the left side. So this time we lift the left leg to the sky as we take that breath in, kick energy out through that left heel. Exhale, draw that left knee in towards the chest, shift the weight forwards, grip down through the fingertips, and steadily step the left foot in between the hands. Carefully drop the right knee down this time, untuck those right toes. Brush the fingertips along the mat, rise up, low lunge when you are ready. Okay. And again, if you mixed it up slightly on the other side and you want to go that a little bit further on this side, feel free to do so. So wriggling those left toes a little bit further ahead, gliding the hips forwards and down, restacking that left knee over the left ankle. Finding that place of stretch that feels good for you. So you might feel a stretch kind of across this left glute here. Maybe it's down the right hip flexor, the right front of the thigh. Find where it feels best for you. Beautiful. And let's just stay for a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Breath in to reach up that little bit higher. Exhale again, we cactus. We draw the elbows down in line with the shoulders. Lift up through the head and heart. One more inhale. Exhale, let's rain the fingertips all the way down. Lovely. Hands come down to the inside of that left leg. Wriggle that left foot slightly out to the side, so creating space for the hips to drop down and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Beautiful. Not staying here for too long in this little lizard lunge, so maybe there's just a soft and easy sway from side to side. Keep sending the breath down to that hip space. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Okay. From here, you push down through the hands, lift up out of the hips come to stack over the right knee. Maybe walk your hands a little bit closer towards you as you go. And then you release that left leg out towards the left-hand side. Let me shimmy across and hopefully you can still see a little bit of my left foot at least. Okay, so you got that left leg out towards the left-hand side in line with the hip. We take a breath. And as we exhale, we steadily lower the hips down towards that right heel. And we come into that variation of a child's pose. So again, you might keep the fingertips reaching forwards. Or it might feel a little bit more comforting here, a little bit more grounding, to bring the forehead to rest upon something. So again, maybe stack one hand on top of the other. Use that as a little platform for the head to rest in. so we can keep the back of the neck nice and soft. As best as you can, keeping the pinky toe edge of that left foot down to the ground. And maybe noting that stretch down the inside of the left thigh. Beautiful. Pause for another breath here, that little snippet of rest. Okay. On your next inhale, we're going to push down through the hands to rise up. Taking care of this right knee as you send your sit bones back. Maybe you swing the right ankle forward slightly to gently control the sit bones all the way down to the ground, and you've still got that left leg out towards the side. Okay. So as that happens, we kind of rotate the femur in that hip socket, where it attaches into the hip joint. We rotate the femur so the left toes point up to the sky, firmly rooted down through the sit bones, and that right knee is just rested out to the side. Left hand to the inside of the left leg, big sweep of the right arm this time. It comes all the way up and over. Stretch out through those right fingertips, roll that right shoulder back. Beautiful. Okay. And again, seeing if we can maybe glance underneath that right arm, lengthening it through the fingertips so we keep reaching, we keep expanding. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Breath in as we rise all the way back up, pulling our chest back upright. And then we're going to bring the left hand to the back of the left knee to guide the left knee back in. Wriggle that right foot across to the left, and then cross the left leg over the right, okay? And again, if you feel like you're leaning to the right hand side this time and it's the left sit bone lifting off, maybe you extend the right leg out in front, feeling a little bit more grounded down through the sit bones. So you might be here, or you might be here, your choice. If you have got both legs wrapped around, just make sure you're keeping your left foot, especially this left big toe, down towards the ground, so this left knee is kind of lifted in towards the chest. Left hand comes back behind you. Let's inhale to extend right arm to the sky. Keep growing tall here. Reach, reach, reach. And then as we exhale, right elbow comes to the outside edge of that left knee. And we come into that twist down the other side. Beautiful. Okay. So finding this nourishing twist for your spine. Again, as we twist this way, it might feel different when we twisted the other way. So again, being super kind, just being a little bit aware of how our body feels. Take one more breath. Exhale, anchor into that twist out a little bit more. Beautiful. Breath in to unravel, okay. And then from here, instead of sweeping that left leg around, let's take a moment to lean into the hands back behind us. Let the legs unravel. And then bring the feet out in front, okay. Shimmy on down your mats if you need to, and then just extend the legs out in front. You can give them a little shake if you need to, shake off the toes, shake off the ankles. And then nice and easy, peel the flesh away from both sit bones, so again, nicely grounded down. Finding a nice tall spine, as tall as we can. So if you find it a challenge to sit like this, maybe you can sit up against the wall here to give you that little bit of support for your spine. This might already be quite a lot of work for the hamstrings, so do feel free to have a little bend through the knees and dig the heels down and towards the ground. So again, you might be here just focusing on sitting up nice and tall, and you can stay, yeah? Or maybe keeping that length through the spine, you can keep that bend through the knees, take a breath. As we exhale, we might walk the fingertips forwards, coming into a little seated forward fold. But as you fold forwards, let's try not to round through the spine here, so we lose that line through the back. Let's keep almost like there's a thread being pulled out through the crown of the head, so we keep growing tall. We maintain that as we begin to fold. And you can keep walking the fingertips as far as feels comfortable to you. So it doesn't mean we necessarily need to reach for the toes or reach even beyond the feet. They might just rest somewhere either side of the knees or the shin, the ankle. But what we're maintaining here is that length through the spine. Lovely, well done. Okay. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths, nice and easy. Over time, you might find yourselves beginning to fold or soften that a little bit further. But again, these things do take time. So we might not notice a dramatic change compared to where we started and where we might finish. But again, all about the journey and getting there. Beautiful. Keep sending the sit bones back, heart forwards. 3 more breaths. One more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Beautiful. As we inhale, let's slowly walk the hands back in, slowly rising back up. Okay, and then we're going to keep this going, so the hands walk back behind us. If you are running out of space, again, just have that little shimmy forwards. And then when you're ready, softening through the elbows and letting the spine roll down bone by bone back onto our mats, coming back to where we started. So let's have the soles of the feet flat down towards the earth. And actually this time, let's separate the feet slightly wider than your body. And maybe again, hands down by your sides or hands to the belly. But let's just have a nice and easy sway of the knees from side to side. So to the left, to the right, at your own time. And there's this little bit of heaviness through the legs here. So as they come across to one side, we really let the knees be heavy, especially that knee that's coming to the inside. Beautiful. A little roll along the base of your spine. You might notice that little massage across your sacrum here. And then the next time you send your knees to the left, pause here for a moment. So that right knee is really heavy down to the ground. And if you want that a little bit more, maybe you lift the left ankle and cross it over the outside edge of that right knee to guide that right knee a little bit closer down to the ground. Perhaps feeling the stretch across the right hip flexor. It might also work a little bit higher to kind of the right side of your abdominals here. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Beautiful. Let that left ankle fall away from that right knee. Steadily lift the knees up through center, and we're going to come across to the other side. So both knees to the right. Left knee is heavy towards the inside. Again, stay. Maybe lifting that right ankle to cross on top of that left knee to guide that left knee a little bit further down towards the ground. Beautiful. Take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Beautiful. Release that right ankle. Steadily draw the knees back up through the center. And then from here, feel free to take a moment to move through any final little stretch you might feel as though your body needs right now. You might curl yourselves up into a little ball or stretch the arms above the head. Whatever you feel as though your body is calling out for now, just take a moment to kind of listen, observe, feel. And then once you are ready, you can begin to make your way into your final relaxation. So it might be exactly where we started, knees bent, hands to belly or to the ground, or this time you might lengthen out the legs, letting the body softly grow and expand, taking up space. Just allowing yourselves to again settle back in, connect to your mat. Notice your breath here and now. Perhaps the breath is feeling a little bit smoother here. And again, as we allow ourselves to rest, finding a sense of feeling connected to your mat, to yourselves, and an extension connected to everyone around you. Strangers, friends, we're all connected and we all belong. Perhaps even allowing ourselves for a moment to relish in that feeling of belonging here, being held here, being safe and secure. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Begin to welcome little bits of movement back in, fingertips, toes, wrists and ankles, steadily waking yourselves back up. You might take a stretch here or again curl yourselves up. Have a good old yawn maybe. And then when you are ready, choosing a side, either the left or the right, let yourselves roll to that one side. Use your hands to help you, to rise you all the way up to a comfortable seat, maybe even keeping the eyes closed as we go, so we keep drawing that awareness in. Nestle your sit bones down into the ground. Find the palms of the hands landing upon the knees. Slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. As always, we seal our practice together with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, we bring the palms, the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Thank you, YouTube yogis, for joining me today for that beautiful yoga for connection practice. I hope you are feeling a little bit more connected to your breath, to yourselves, to your practice. And I hope you maintain that connection as you go through the rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. And don't forget, I'll be back next Sunday with another free practice for you. I hope to see you then. Bye. Mwah.